What's up, y'all? Hope you're having a good time. I'm not promoting drinking or advocating for it at all, but I want to talk about some personal experiences with drinking, and who knows, maybe you'll find it a little bit relatable. So, this most recent weekend, I went to a wedding, and it was a great time. It was very relaxing, just being away for the weekend. I took Friday off from work, so I had an additional day for the weekend. And I was out in Connecticut where there was plenty of woods and nature. I went for a nice jog on Saturday. Very relaxed, surrounded by nature, saw some farm animals. It was a good time. And then Saturday night rolls around, wedding, plenty of family, plenty of new faces as well. And it was just overall a good time. Now, yes, I, like most of the people there, or at least what was probably a pretty decently high majority, we were all drinking. And I haven't drank prior to that night in quite some time, probably a couple months, I would say. Um, and needless to say, I drank too much. And it's just the way it goes sometimes. But I want to talk about how I felt after that, because the day after, oddly enough, despite being quite hungover, I felt quite relaxed. And I'm thinking that this is partially due to the fact that I was away for the weekend and I was in a very relaxed state of mind. So that definitely helped with like the clarity, but it felt a little different, so to speak, because like when you do any drugs or drinking, you'll kind of be at a baseline, then you'll go up, and then you'll go down, like farther below baseline. And you would think that when you're below baseline, you'd feel terrible. Well, I didn't feel good when I was hungover, but part of me felt that I had more mental clarity than previously. Now, again, that could be attributed to just an overall relaxing weekend. I don't know, but because this is something I've kind of felt before, where back at college, for example, I remember a couple specific instances where the same thing would happen. Just go out on a Saturday night and I'd wake up on a Sunday in like a lower than baseline state because I was hungover from the drinking. And despite that, though, I actually felt kind of in a mental clarity kind of space where it was like I was so hungover that there were certain things I just couldn't put mental focus towards at all, like any like little nitty gritty bullshit that you feel within yourself. I just didn't like give myself the mental space for it. And I don't know. I remember like one specific case at college that happened, and I wrote like some very emotional like little poem on a Sunday morning, and I was just curious if anybody else has had a similar experience like that. Um, Sorry, I hear the train bells going off in the distance. I think the train's about to roll by sooner or later. Oh shit, it's coming right behind me. Oh my gosh. Damn, bro. That was kind of cool. It's always interesting if you've never been right next to a train before, like that, as to how fast it actually fucking is. Because I mean, similar to like a plane, for example. You see a plane in the sky, and it's just like moving and moving and moving. Same thing with a train because it's so big. But when you're up close to it, it's like it's launching. I mean, that wasn't even that fast, relatively speaking, but that was pretty fast. I don't know. Um, but yeah, okay. I also wanted to talk more about so this weekend when I was away for the wedding. You know, I was just out in nature a little bit by myself. Walking past through some towns out in the sun, um, looking at some different farm animals, just some like nice big open fields and stuff. Just being out in nature again. Feeling really good. And that, especially that whole environment and atmosphere, just being out in nature more often, connecting with nature and connecting with our deeper selves, it's very tranquil, and it feels so good. And I want more of that for myself and for other people as well. And that's the type of environment that you're in, and you kind of question yourself sometimes because you're like, why do I have to work? Like, why? What am I doing with myself working in an office for some bullshit ass job that I don't care about? Not to get all self-pity party on me, but it's kind of how it feels sometimes, like you go outside into nature, be one with the earth, and you're like, oh man, this feels so good. Why do I have to go back to working in the office setting? It makes you question yourself sometimes. And I think that's actually a good thing, because if you don't question yourself, or be in an environment where you kind of naturally question yourself, or you don't have somebody questioning you, like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Like, what are you doing with yourself? You might wander upon a path in which you might not want to be going down. What I mean by that is that, it's important to go wandering around and go exploring, but sometimes you might wander down a path in which might not be good for you, but you cannot recognize that. And sometimes you have to get lost in order to recognize that you are getting lost, and going, oh shit, this is not the right path. But sometimes you can get lost and you can go, okay, I am on the right path. At least I think I am. That's what intuition is good for. So, I don't know. Hopefully you found any of this relatable, or you got something out of this. That's what I always hope with my videos is, oftentimes it feels like I'm just rambling with my videos, and that's okay, because that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just talking to myself and hoping that you, the viewer, could relate to it. That's what I'm here for. Hopefully you feel better after watching this, because I'll feel better right now just going for a walk and recording this. So hopefully you feel better. And if you're watching this, much love. Go for a walk, go outside, go for a nice exploration. Do that. That's why I'm big. That's my one recommendation for this video, is go on a nice exploration. It's okay to get lost, just one afternoon, no phone, no wallet. Don't tell anybody where you're going. Just go start walking somewhere and you'll feel good. It's a nice feeling to get lost, even if it's only temporary. You'll find your way back, because we always do. We're human. That's what we're here for. We're here to navigate. We're here to explore and to conquer. Much love. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching. Explore. Much love. Again, sorry I'm repeating myself, but thank you. Bye.